you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Hello, everybody. This is Harold Green of Bright Tree Wealth Management, and it is time to stop doing what you hate. As always, I hope you are having a fantastically wonderful day. I'm doing pretty good. Just got back from San Diego. Drove out there for a couple of days. Actually, it was a day. So we left on Monday, got there Monday night, and then spent Tuesday doing some things that we wanted to do. And then Wednesday, just kind of wrapped it up with doing our usual thing when we go to California, visiting the Japanese grocery stores. My wife's Japanese. And so she always likes to have, the Japanese stuff on hand. And we go to Japan, we load up and bring it back here. But, that only lasts for like a month or two, maybe 3. And so sometimes we have to do a little refill. And so we like to drive out to California, pick out different places to go and just kind of chill out for a little bit. And a lot of things kind of came across my mind, but in particular is this one show that I have been thinking about. And so, I kind of wrote up my notes last week a little bit, and then I said, okay, let me put this on a shelf and then just kind of think about how I want to talk about this. And, the title of today's show is The Way Out to Financial Stability. So are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's get it. And so because it's an investment show, all investments do carry risk of loss. Make sure you do your due diligence. Past performance is no indicator of future results. You got to make sure you understand your risk tolerance, time horizons, and get a first, second, maybe third opinion. And then when you do invest, make sure you're investing according to a well-balanced, comprehensive financial plan. Also, what I'm sharing with you in today's show is for informational purposes only. If you find that it works for you, great. I'm not, saying, hey, go do this, go do that. But I'm just kind of sharing with you some insights into my own personal life and what I found that works for me. And I really hope these shows are a blessing to the people that listen to these shows. And then if they are a blessing to you, please share them with other people, because I'm constantly asking myself, why am I still doing this? I can retire tomorrow, like literally just like I can just walk out. And I kept asking myself, like, why are you still doing this? It's a lot of work. And the reason why is because there's a lot of people that need what's been deposited into me. Yes, I've learned, I've honed my skills, I've grown, I sharpened, I'm still going to continue to grow. I'm still going to continue to try to elevate and up my game to the next level. And I don't feel there's an end. I feel that my goal is to educate the next generation of young people to carry out what I've been entrusted with. And that's to help people get to a place of financial stability where they're not worried about stuff anymore. They're not even really thinking about it. They don't even pay attention to it. But there's a process that you're going to go through. And I was a financial disaster before in my life. I think I've shared with you folks enough about the dumb decisions that I've made, all the stupid things that I've done, all the crap that I used to believe. And it was a complete disaster. And I'm going to preface this conversation by saying it like this. In the Bible, God says he does everything decently and in order. And so when you think about decently and in order, there's no thrills, there's no frills. It's pretty much ho-hum mundane. It's just a process and a structure. There's like no excitement with it, and it's just really simple. And so I really want to kind of break this down to you as simply as I possibly can, how to get out of like financial diseases and like financial sicknesses and things like that. And one of the things that came to my mind is that financial instability basically follows like some of the same, you get there the same way as some kind of sickness or disease. If you ever thought about like, okay, how did I get sick? Now, I'm not talking about something that just came upon you and like it just hit you out of nowhere. But even with some of those things, it's like a buildup over time. And next thing you know, you have a disease like a diabetes or something another that's just, if you're born with it, that's something that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like what you do with your life over time. Same thing with money, bad relationships. It's just something that happens over time. Now, sometimes you're getting into a bad relationship from the jump. And sometimes people just change, but it's something that's happening underneath of the surface. Financial lack and insufficiency is the same way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into where this stuff comes from and some of the biggest mistakes you can make, and then basically some steps to fixing it and correcting it. And if you're willing to listen and hear, then I think you're going to be well on your way. And I think in most cases, sickness and disease, bad relationships, financial lack and insufficiency, they all come from some form of abuse. Okay. You're abusing your body in one way or the other. Relationships, you're taking your spouse for granted. You're abusing what you've been blessed with. You're abusing the situation. Okay. Some form of abuse. And a lot of times this kind of stems from like, it tends to come from like a lack of knowledge in something or a rejection of the truth. And God also says in the Bible, my people perish and suffer for lack of knowledge. And he also says the simpleton believes everything that he hears. And so a couple of different things that stands out to me, and it's a lack of diligence because a lot of people would rather be indoctrinated than educated. I'm going to say that again. A lot of people prefer to be indoctrinated than educated. Why? Because just sitting there and listening to somebody drone on about why they hate such and such, or drone on about, your spouse and how they're this and that, and they're not living up to this and that, just drone on and on and on. And you soak that stuff in because deep down inside, you kind of agree with what you're hearing, but you lack the knowledge to sufficiently divide and conquer out that information and make sure it's correct for your life. And lack of diligence in another simple way is lazy. And sometimes people are just straight up foolish. And when I look at this word foolish, somebody broke the word down foolish into just a simple word, a stupid person. You say somebody's foolish, it's basically they're just stupid, like unlearned. And again, it's a lack of knowledge and a rejection of the truth, because even if you tell a foolish person the truth, they're going to ignore you. And sometimes they're going to they're just going to come at you with something crazy. And I've had people come at me with crazy stuff all the time when I try to tell them the truth about finances. Well, how do you know that works, Harold? Well, how do you know this? And so said this, and I don't believe you. And it's like, well, okay, all right, do what you want. Do what you want. But here's the thing that I'm going to tell you, because once you heal yourself financially, you're going to be able to reach back or reach out or reach across and then share some information with someone that you know and love that might help them out. Right. And here's some of the biggest mistakes that I see people making when they fall into these situations. They're in financial stability. You're trying to help them get out. You grab them by the hand and you say, okay. And they might reach out and say, hey, okay, yeah, I'm ready. I want to do this. I want to do this. And it's like, okay, let's go. And the first thing you run into with these people a lot of times is they're double-minded. They are double-minded. And when you're double-minded, the Bible says, don't let the double-minded person think they're going to get anything that they ask for, because they're double-minded and unstable in all their ways. Like, they're unstable. First it's this, and then it's that, and then it's this, and then it's that. Like, totally unstable. And you're wondering, like, how come we're not making any progress here? Because this person is double-minded. One day they trust you, one day they don't. One day they trust you, one day they don't. How do I know this? Because people ask me distrusting questions all the time. And they'll say, well, it's not that I don't trust you. And I say, yeah, it is you don't trust me, because there's a lack of confidence here due to the fact that there's something that you don't know. I know it. I'm trying to educate you on it, but you're fighting me on this thing because you're double-minded. And what that leads into is something called self-sabotage. I had a friend tell me this today, and we've been working together for a while now and stuff. And he was like, yo, Harold, the reason why people can't really get to where they want to be because they can't get out of their own way. They can't get out of their own way. They're always effing it up. It's like kind of like what he said to me. They're always messing something up. They're always screwing it up. They have a propensity to screw up every single time. Why? Lack of knowledge. They reject the truth. Then it leads into all these crazy, stupid things that they do financially, self-sabotage, right? Some form of financial abuse. And I've shared this with you on the show before. And if you haven't listened to me before and you're listening to me now, I say money is like your pet, your dog that you love dearly. And if you begin to abuse your dog, right? You begin to abuse your dog, you go, you leave the house, they're anxious and things like that. And when you come home, before, if you didn't abuse the dog and you loved them and you hugged on them, as soon as you come, they hear your car pull up, boom, they run to the door. They're like scratching it, just waiting on you to come home. and they jump in your lap and they, lick all over you and stuff like that. But when you start to abuse that dog, when you come home, they are not running to that door. They are not running to that door. They're going to go hide somewhere. And money is the same way. When you begin to abuse money, it will run from you. It will hide from you. And I don't care what you do. If you abuse it, it's gone. You'll say, well, I'm giving to my church. Like I'm doing all these good things. Yeah, but it's kind of like you exercise and then you eat 5 cheeseburgers, right? It's like, yeah, I would exercise, but then you're self-sabotaging yourself, right? You're getting in your own way. And a lot of times people can't get out no matter what you do or how hard you try. They're always getting in their own way. So what I'm going to share with you right now are some steps that you can think about. And if you need to talk to me about them for your own situation, you can just get in contact with me through the website and we can talk about it. But the first thing that you have to do is you have to take the time to learn more. I've heard it said, Harold, I don't know how you became this smart. I said, I barely graduated high school. Like I was a BC student, a BC student at best, right? I was just turned off to the whole process of going to college. And, it's like, for what? Like why? I was just kind of up, I was in a bad mood at that time. So I joined the Navy, got the GI Bill, then figured it out like, hey, dude, you should have went to college before you joined the military. It's too late. Then I'm already in. Then I got married, had 2 kids, and now I'm trying to go to college and work full time, work all the time, and then study at night, go to bed, wake up, study in the morning before I go to work. I mean, I had to hustle and grind because I got the process out of order. Okay. But I took the time to learn and learn and learn, and I'm still learning now. I'm learning about quadratic equations and things like that when it comes to money and all of these other crazy things that we should know or educate ourselves about because it's going to make a big difference in our client's portfolio. But take the time to learn more. And then number 2, you got to question the information that you hear. You have to ask a lot of why questions. Like I'll hear somebody say something and I'm like, what? Okay, if I had to be able, if I could sit down with them in a room, I'll say straight up to their face, is it, why are you saying that? Why do you believe that? Where is your proof? Show me your thesis on this. Okay. You always have to question what you hear. Now, that's if you've taken the time to learn. You can't just blindly question everything without learning anything. I mean, then it's just, no matter how many times somebody tell you the answer, you're going to forget it because you never took the time to learn for yourself. Learn for yourself. Don't just watch a bunch of TV, whether it's this financial show, that financial show, because you don't know why they're saying that stuff. Okay. Why do you believe what you believe? If anyone asks me anything about my investment strategy, I can tell them why I believe what I believe. I can tell them what my thesis is. I can tell them what grounds I'm standing on, because when I'm registered and I'm managing clients' money, I have to have a reason as to why I do what I do. I can't just say, well, I think this stock sounds good. I'm going to buy that today. I think this stock sounds good. I'm going to buy that today. Well, this guy over here said this stock is going to perform this. I'm going to buy that today. SEC's like, no. It doesn't work that way. What is your strategy? What's the risk involved in your strategy? How are you helping to mitigate some of the risk in your strategy? What have been your returns? All of these different things. You have to know what you are doing. And then the third thing you got to do is you got to test it for yourself. Okay. You've educated yourself. You've asked all the questions. Now you got to try to put it to work for yourself, right? Does this work for me? And you take the actions and you do the work. And number 4, and this is the last thing we're going to leave you with. If it works, do more of it. It's simple as that. If it works, do more of it. And that's what I found myself doing in my career. If I found something that works, I did more of it. What does that mean? And this is going to be tough to hear. Losing sleep, right? Waking up early, staying up late. It worked. So guess what? I did more of it. Why could I do that? Because I was young at the time. I was in my 20s and my 30s, and I was hustling like a monster. I wasn't sitting here talking about work-life balance. Like, okay, yeah, I'm going to sleep more. Yeah, I'm going to do this and that. Like, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with Johnny today and we're going to play some golf. Like, no, I was working. I was working because I found something that worked, and I did the work. I took the appropriate action. And here's what I'm going to share with you. This is an investment show, so I did talk to you about that. Investments do carry risk of loss. I figured out that using margin loans when the stock market was beaten all the hell up worked really well, I would begin buying dips on margin loans. At one point, I had $1 million on my margin loan. I mean, $1 million bucks. That was big money for me at the time, but it worked. It worked. Now, was it perfect at times? No. Was it scary at times? Yes. Did I get margin calls at times? Yes. Because I was a little bit early to the party, but I reloaded, and I reloaded because I felt like I was on to something. To me, it was like borrowing money to start a business. You will go to the bank and write up a business plan, and you'll ask for $500,000 with no guarantee that that business is going to work. But people do it all the time. And a large majority of those businesses fail because they got the thesis wrong or something changed. They weren't aware. They didn't. I hear this all the time. Well, Harold, I didn't think about it like that. Well, I didn't think about it like that. I'm like, yo, you got to think about everything you can possibly think about. And then you got to think about the things that you're thinking about and then even question that. So now we take quite a while as we question our thesis and question what we're doing to make sure we're on to something and to make sure that we have our vested interest theories tested out. And for me, what that is it's law of large numbers. And I'm not going to get into it too much, but if the law of large numbers applies in my investment strategy and I have some kind of protection in there or some kind of, I wouldn't say guaranteed probability, but a high probability of success. Like, for example, if my investment thesis says, hey, this many large institutions are doing something similar, you can see that in the inflows and the outflows. Yeah, you can load up a little bit more. If they beat it up, that's when you do it. You can put your short dated options on here, your long dated options on here, because the psychology of the market says this. And so you have to have something that works because you've tested it for yourself, and then you can do more of it. And I'm going to tell you, you are multiplying these seeds that you're sowing at a rapid pace. And the key is not to get distracted. Don't be a simpleton believing everything that you hear in the financial media. Don't get political with your investment strategy. Be apolitical with it. Get your emotions out of the way, because you can't be double-minded, because you're going to self-sabotage yourself and you're going to end up starting over and over again to the point where you just give up and you quit, and you will not become financially healthy at all. You will be financially diseased until the day you die, depending on Social Security, waiting on inheritance money, praying and hoping that God provides a miracle to you or something another, or somebody sends you a check in the mail or something other than you using your endeavors to heal yourself. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. The way out, the way to financial stability, the way to end financial insufficiency and lack in your life. And if you think I can help you in any kind of way or the other, my minimum is 500,000. Well, in the next 2 years, it's probably going to go to 1 million, because we're getting kind of packed with who we want to take on as clients right now. And so right now we're just kind of taking on clients by referral only. Or if you're a person that listens to this show and you're like, hey, I think you can help me. I think you can provide a way out for me. And I'm willing to not be double-minded. I'm willing to not bother you all the time and ask you all these crazy questions, because I'm going to go educate myself as well. Like, if you want to raise your hand and get in the classroom and get your ticket in line in here, or get on my bus, as I like to say, I'm willing to talk to you. So you got a number, 808-521-4401. And I just want to share this show with you guys today. I hope it's blessed you. And if it has, share this with somebody else, because I know people need what I'm saying. Well, I don't know who they are. I don't know who you are out there, right? You could be a client already. You could be thinking about referring in your sister or cousin, whoever. I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking, but I know for me, I just want to share with you what I've been through and what's worked for me and what I'm doing for the clients that are on my bus. So thank you for allowing me to share today's show with you folks. And until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.